So I recently just finished watching Trigon Stampede, and it got my mind thinking of a trend that I'm starting to realize appear more in the anime industry, and that's remakes. Yeah, those shiny revamped versions of our favorite childhood animes that either get us super excited for the nostalgia trip that we'll be going on, seeing the new bright animation and how crazy they can make everything look, or we get really nervous. Let's be honest, as anime fans, we get kind of paranoid that they're gonna mess up something that was already perfect, something that didn't need to be remade. But remakes aren't always bad. They're good ones, and there are some bad ones. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about anime remakes. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they needed? Or are they just a waste of time? Let's start with a big one, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. This is the remake that set the bar so high that all the other remakes are still trying to catch up. The original Full Metal Alchemist was great. Don't get me wrong, let's be honest. It wasn't as bad as a lot of people make it out to be, but it ended up going a completely off script from the manga itself. This was primarily due to Full Metal Alchemist the anime coming out at the same time as the manga, and to continue the show they decided to branch off into their own direction. Shortly after the manga concluded, they decided to make a remake of Full Metal Alchemist, which is deemed Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, or Broho, as a lot of people like to say. But this is a remake that was well needed, not because the original adaptation was bad, but this one followed the manga and the story that the author was trying to tell to the T. It portrayed the messages that the manga was trying to get out, but it was well needed for the story of the show to be able to be told in the way that it was intended. Let's talk about another remake, Dragon Ball Z Kai. This remake wasn't really different from the original Dragon Ball Z in general. The biggest difference between Z and Kai was mainly the animation. It was slightly crispier, more fluid, and more nicer looking, but the story itself is exactly the same, unlike Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, where the stories were completely different. This is something that I see as a remake that wasn't truly needed, but wasn't argued against. Nobody minded seeing a higher definition version of the original Dragon Ball Z. And that's also true for another remake that we have, Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter is another really popular anime that got remastered from its original counterpart. This one follows the same exact story as well, with some slight differences here and there. The biggest difference in Hunter x Hunter is the animation and character designs of most of the characters, and overall feel of the anime itself. If you look at the original Hunter x Hunter, it's a more gritty feel, very 90s anime-esque. You get the feel of an old school 90s anime. When you watch the 2011 remake, it's more brighter, more saturated colors, and a lot of the character designs are different. It's a more up-to-date, polished version of the show. And it does look a lot better, and I do think it was needed for the anime itself. And then we have anime in the works such as One Piece's remake, which is going to be used for better animation and for cutting down the pacing of the show. One Piece is another one that's been out for a while, so the animation style changes throughout the show, and this is a way to keep it one cohesive animation style all the way through. I think this was needed for a lot of the new fans coming into the series as well. This helps cut down the amount of episodes that the fans have to watch to catch up to the newer things, and for those people who are really big on their animation and they want to watch the most crispiest animation ever, it gives them more of an up-to-date version of One Piece in the nicer animation. So I feel like this was another one that was needed as well. But let's talk about the anime that sparked this conversation for me. Trigon Stampede. I'm going to be talking about spoilers in the anime of Trigon Stampede's remake, so if you haven't seen it or seen the original, I advise you go click off now and go watch those and come. Trigon Stampede's story seems to carry on as a prequel to the original Trigon anime itself. At the end of the anime, it seems to lead into the beginning of the 90s version of Trigon, and this one does follow through the source material slightly better than the original. To be honest, all three of the Trigons are completely different. If you read the manga version, watch the 1990s version, or you watch the new remake version, they're all going to be drastically different. But this one follows the manga slightly better than the 1990s version. But while watching the show, I was quite confused because I wasn't sure that it was even a prequel. And I understand that a lot of animes are old and require a remake, so that newer fans could get into them and understand their stories, but is this going to be a constant trend amongst the anime industry where they're just going to remake old shows because they know they're popular? to get that quick cash in. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that anime remakes are like a mixed bag. Sometimes you get a masterpiece, like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, like Hunter x Hunter, and like I know the One Piece remake is gonna be Fight Me on that, where the creator genuinely wants to do the story justice and give it the treatment it deserved the first time around. Other times, it's like Shaman King's remake, where yeah, it was more accurate, but does it have the same magic that it did the first time around? Maybe not. The point is, remakes are always gonna be a gamble. They might make us fall in love with the anime again, or they might just leave a sour taste in our mouth from our favorite show, and we just pretend like the remake never happened. That's my take on anime remakes, but I want to know yours. What's your favorite anime remake? Do you even like anime remakes? Do you think they're worth it? Do you think we even need them? Let me know in the comments down below, and let me know what's an anime you want to see remade, if there is any. And until the next time I ramble on, I'm Echo, and peace out, everybody.